Hey everyone, this is Phong with Remax. I'm here with Tom Balke. He's a sales manager at Bow North who helps the whole team of sales reps. He has been with Bow North for just under 2 years now and has loved every second of it. He was the first person the owner that brought on to the team. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Fong, how's it going today?
Pretty good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Um,
have me.
and a lot of people wanting to know, um, right now, maybe not so much, but in the spring about the roof of their house.
Yep.
So here are the top five questions that you came up with. And should we start?
Yeah, let's start.
Okay. Can you provide an estimate?
Yeah, so, a lot of times people want an estimate, and, that is something we can provide. It depends on the situation, though. Most of the work that we are doing is through insurance, where there is a system that insurance uses that we use that determines what the estimate is going to be. So, say you file an insurance claim, have an adjuster come out, we meet them out there, we kind of go over all of the damage that we find. We could provide an estimate for everything, but what's going to happen is insurance is going to put all that information into the system, which is called Exactimate, and that is going to determine the cost of replacing that roof and all of the damaged areas. So when it comes to insurance, we don't provide an estimate because that estimate is determined by what insurance and the software Exactimate say. If it's something where, hey, you just need a new roof, it's 20 years old and you're going to replace it yourself, then that's something we'd be more than happy to provide an estimate for, or new windows, something outside of that insurance scope of work, be more than happy to provide an estimate. But most of the time, if it's insurance work, that price is going to be determined by the insurance company, not by us.
Okay, good to know. And what kind of shingles do you use?
So we're a GAF Master Elite contractor, which means we're in the top 2% of all GAF contractors in the nation. We were one of the only companies that I've heard of getting this after 1 year in business. Most companies, it takes over 5 years of being closely tracked and selling a certain amount of those shingles and a certain amount of warranties. But we were able to get that after 1 year. So most of the shingles we install are GAF, which is a timberline shingle. We install architectural shingles, and then we also install malarkey shingles for people who are thinking about upgrading to a class 3 or class 4 shingle, which is going to be your hail resistant shingle. So, say you had a hailstorm come through, is some smaller hail, but you got a new roof from it. One of the things I love for people to do is to install class 3 or class 4 shingles, which are hail resistant. And then the next time a hailstorm comes through, you don't have to worry about that damage that comes with that hail. You're going to be free and clear while all your neighbors might be getting a new roof. You don't have to
Hmm.
worry about going through that whole process again. And we love Malarkey for having a bit of a cheaper option, but still offering great protection. They've got a couple of different levels. They've got one class 3, two class 4s, where GAF only has a class 4 and it's more expensive than all of those. So usually, if someone's upgrading, we'll go with Malarkey. If someone's kind of just working off of that insurance estimate and wants to, kind of keep with what they have, which is most likely a great roof, the GAF HDZ, which is your architectural shingle, is most of the time what we go with.
Are they like 30-year or 40 years
So,
typically?
you might hear 30 or 40-year shingles,
Yeah.
but living in Minnesota, it's definitely not going to last that long.
Okay.
If your roof is lasting 15 to 20 years, most people say the average is about, the top end is probably 20 to 22.
Okay.
If you get 18 years, you should be pretty happy your roof did its job and lasted you a good life, especially in Minnesota with the heat and the cold that we get. So,
Hmm. Okay. And let's see, what makes you different from other exterior contractors?
the biggest thing, in my opinion, that makes us different is the accessibility to the owners. Not just me being the first person that they brought on, but everyone in the company has direct access to our owners, And, if we have a question, we need help with something, uh, they're readily available to help us with those questions. Especially having two owners who come from different sides of kind of the construction background. We have one who's a CPA, so all the money stuff, he's great at that. And then we have one who's been in the contracting business for over 10 years now, done roofing for a long time. So he really knows the nitty gritties of the whole roofing business. So anything code, putting new shingles on, any little intricate details that we need help with or have questions on, he's there to help. So that's what I would say makes us different from a lot of contractors is, that accessibility to the owners and having those answers quickly rather than, it having to go through 3 or 4 people to get that answer. It can be just a direct access and get that answered.
Oh, very good. So what do you enjoy most about what you do?
What I enjoy most is helping people learn, kind of what it means and what has to happen to get a new roof. It might only take a day, but it is a much bigger process than most would think. You got 10,000 pounds of material coming off the roof and 10,000 pounds of material going back onto the roof. So, helping people understand that it's going to be a process, especially if you're going through insurance, that can definitely add time, and it can be a little bit weird doing it through insurance because it's a process that most people have not gone through before. So really helping people understand and, know exactly what's going to happen. There are obviously things that come up that can throw rocks in the wheels and, make it a little bit different, but, being there to help with questions and help people understand the process and, really what's going to happen is kind of the most fun thing for me. And that's what I really enjoy most is helping people understand what we're doing so that they feel comfortable working with us.
So do you meet them in person?
I meet everyone in person. Yep. A lot of the stuff we do is virtual. Most of the contracts we sign, payments, all of that is done online, but I'm out there on every job site the day it's starting. I'm out there for adjustments if they're happening. I'm out there taking pictures, meeting the homeowner, getting to know people, that personable aspect and working with me through the whole process is something that I really enjoy. And, I think it makes our team a little bit better than others. Having one person you work with instead of having one person who does the initial inspection, one person who comes and does your adjustment, and then a third person, fourth person, doing other steps, having that one point of contact, I think really makes it a little bit easier for homeowners so that you don't have to have 4 people that you're talking to. You can just have one that you can run all your questions through.
Yeah, it sounds like one point of contact seems like a lot smoother, less confusing.
Yeah, I think it's an easier way to do things, and then, it also shows that, we understand the whole process instead of just one part of that process. Being able to go through it from start to finish definitely helps show customers that we know what we're doing and we're there to help them, figure things out for them.
Okay. What is the best way to stop ice dams from forming on, say, my house?
Yeah. So, this is one thing we hear a lot. And, there's a lot of different options, some good and some bad. You see a lot of people with those hockey pucks, the salt pucks that you'll toss up onto your roof and they'll start to melt away some of the snow. One of the problems with that is that it's very localized. So it will melt the snow and ice that is right under there. But then it could cause even more ice dams because you're getting all of that water that's running off. And if it's later in the day, when it's dark out, 4 o'clock now, when everybody's getting home and you're putting them up there, you're going to get that water that's coming down that's going to freeze. A good way to do it is, getting heating cables up there. That can be helpful, but you can sometimes see the same problems. Also, can't always guarantee that those are going to be on all the time. A lot of them do have sensors, a thermal sensor that will turn on after it hits, below 30 degrees or 25, really depending on whatever you want. And then kind of my favorite, which is, what most people do, is just raking your roof. One thing that most people could change is leaving a little bit of snow up on the roof. So you want to leave maybe an inch, inch and a half of snow up on the roof instead of raking right down to the shingles. Biggest reason for this is that rake is metal, has pointy corners. You can definitely put some gouges in the roof if you're raking hard. Another reason to leave that little bit of snow is, the snow reflects heat. It reflects that sunlight. So you're not getting that melting process that you're getting especially if you have a darker roof. If the sun is hitting part of your roof and there's snow maybe on the northwest side, but it's melting it up along the top, up along the ridge, you're going to get it melting up along the top, especially since you can't reach all the way up with the rake. And then it's going to melt and refreeze when you get back underneath. So keeping that snow on there helps reflect that heat and keep the roof colder, which might sound weird, but that helps it from heating up and then refreezing. So leaving that inch and a half inch of snow on there is really helpful, really helps keep ice dams away from the house. And then if you get to the point where, nothing can be done, there are always houses that, 2 stories and, having a 30 or 40-foot extension on that roof rake, not going to be the easiest thing. And, if you do end up getting ice dams, finding a company that you like that can come out and do some ice dam removal instead of doing it yourself. A lot of people, you hear horror stories of people getting up there with a power washer and power washing the ice dams off and, falling off a ladder, or, it is gross work. It's tough work. The guys who do it are, they're impressive guys. They work their butts off. They really are out there. A lot of times if you have a 6-inch ice dam, it's 6 inches high, it takes about an hour to get through a foot of it, because what you're using to get it off of there it's similar to a power washer, but it's not spraying as hard. It's a steamer. So it's heating up that ice slowly and melting it off, so you're not causing damage to the roof again. If you were to use a power washer, you're spraying that onto your shingles, you're losing granules, you can rip them, a lot of problems can come arise from that. So, having a professional, someone who knows how to do that, is definitely something. So if you need help finding someone like that, definitely another good chance to reach out.
So that leads us to my last question is that if someone needs to have their roof looked at, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so easiest way is probably going to be email right now as we're kind of running around. It's been a weird season with, I'm sure everyone in Minnesota is kind of hoping for snowy holidays. That's how I feel. After it hits 40 degrees, it's kind of like, well, might as well be snow on the ground, make it pretty outside. So, our season has been extended, so we're still running around getting things figured out for next year, and kind of over the winter as we're doing, more siding and window and kind of gutter projects. So an email introduction would be great, which I can definitely leave somewhere along here. So anyone who needs to reach out or would like, even if you
People
just have,
call you?
yeah, can call me too. Call
What's
or
your
text.
number?
We'll have all that information for you. But yeah, small questions are great questions. Those smaller questions usually lead into bigger questions. So, hey, if anyone has any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them as best as I can. And if I don't have the right answer or a full answer for you, I have a lot of people I can reach out to and get you an answer for that question.
Well, this has been very informative. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sure that this information a lot of people could use, especially when next year when people start thinking about it, maybe before they list their home, and
Yeah.
they want want to see if their roof is okay.
Yeah.
So we work with a lot of realtors and sellers. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Having your roof looked at before you sell is super important. One thing we love doing is, just we do free estimates. We come out, and if you want to just have us take a look at things, let you know where there might be some problems that could come in the next year or two, somewhere down the road, even if you're not considering selling your home, so you just bought a home, you had your inspection. Sometimes inspectors don't go up on the roof because it can be dangerous. So having someone like us come out, take a look, kind of let you know what we see as we are doing this every day, all year round, and kind of give you our analysis of that roof so that you know where there might be some problem points, and maybe give you somewhat of an estimate. You can always say it'll be your roof will last 3 years. You never know, though. It could be someone could tell you it will last 1 year and it could last you 10 more, whereas someone can tell you it's going to last 10, and the next week you get a hailstorm and your roof probably needs to be replaced after that. So having someone like us come out, chat with you, take a look at the roof, and kind of give you that analysis of what your roof looks like, we'd be more than happy to help you out and kind of make you feel comfortable with what home you're living in.
All right. Well, thanks for your time. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks.
it.
Yeah, of
All
course.
right. Have a great, wonderful holiday season to
Yeah,
you.
you too. Happy holidays, everyone.
All right.